Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk Age of Sigmar Warcry, and we're going to talk about Skabbik's Plaguepack. Now, we are going to take a look at the Warcry rules that came out for this warband that is from Warhammer Underworld's Word Hollow. Now, you can actually find all the Word Hollow warband rules for Warcry in White Dwarf issue 492. So, it is the issue of the White Dwarf with the giant Terminator in the Ultramarine colours on the front there. So, you can pick this up and have a look for yourself and have your own copy of it as well. But we're going to take a look at all the different fighters, talk a little bit about them, give our thoughts and our ideas with them. But also we're going to take a look here at the rules that we have specifically for Skabbik as well, talk about them and compare them as well with some of the generic ones, because we do have some fighters, I guess, that compare to generic fighters in the warbands. So, with that said, we have some abilities that are generic, and we'll talk about them first. So we have Musk of Fear. A fighter can make this reaction after an enemy fighter finishes a move action within 3 inches of them. You pick another friendly fighter with Escape Faction rune mark. That fighter makes a bonus move action or bonus disengage action, and they must end the move more than 3 inches away. So effectively, if one friend's sort of moved towards by an enemy, you can then run the other friend away. Poisonous Fumes is another ability we're going to have access to. This will be on one of our fighters. We roll a dice for each visible fighter within 3, and you can allocate some damage to them and lead from the back as well. You can add one to the attack characteristic of melee attack action made by visible friendly fighters while within 6 inch as well. So some cool abilities. Now, we do also have the double for Disgusting Appearance. This is a generic one for everyone in Skabbik's warband. So, until the end of the battle range, subtract one from the attack characteristic of melee attack action made by enemy fighters that target this fighter. Pretty cool for a defensive ability, in all honesty. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so, first up, we have Skabbik Plague Seeker. So, 20 wounds, defense 4, and movement 6 here for Skabbik. We then have 3 different rune marks. We've got the leader rune mark there as well. This means we can do a couple of different abilities. We've obviously got lead from the back, the generic Skaven one there. We've got the bell, so we can actually, with Skabbik, do all the abilities specific to Skabbik's Plaguepack, which is pretty cool. Now, the first of these is Befoul the Land, and a lot of our fighters will have this particular rune mark. You pick an objective within 3 inches of this fighter or a treasure token, and that treasure token could be one of the ones being carried by a fighter if this fighter is visible to them. Roll a dice at the end of the battle round for each enemy fighter within 3 inches of the objective or treasure on a roll of a 3+. Allocate D3 damage points to that fighter being rolled for. The same objective or treasure can't be picked more than once, but you could pick multiple of them across the battlefield if you want to. Now, we've also got the ability of Unctuous Citations. Pick a friendly fighter with the Skabbik's Plaguepack Warband rune mark. That's within 7 inch. They can make a bonus move or a bonus attack, and then the fighter you pick can make a bonus action that is the same. Quad is Manifestation of a Great Plague. You pick this fighter or a number of objectives visible to this fighter equal to half the value of this ability. So you're either picking the fighter or some objectives. Allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of this ability to all enemy fighters within 3 inches of either this fighter or those objectives. So pretty cool little ability with some interesting ranges on how it can sort of be affected. Now, I guess Skabbik's like sort of comparison of what you're looking at. He's going to be compared to a generic sort of Plague Priest. How does he sort of stack up? He is 10 renown, more expensive. His attacks are fairly similar, in fact dead the same as your generic Plague Priest. 2 inch range, 4 attack, strength 3, 2/4 on the damage. He does have a couple of extra wounds though, which is nice, and with all those extra abilities, I think he's well worth the 10 points over a generic Plague Priest. And so next up we have Ravenous Stench. This is probably one of the most fighty fighters we have in the warband. Fighty fighters. 115 renown, comparing him to a regular Plague Sensor Bearer. He's 10 renown more expensive. Now he does have the same rune marks, so he's getting extra stuff on top of everything you're going to get from a generic Plague Sensor Bearer anyway, which is Poisonous Fumes. His attack profile is dead the same as your generic one, but like once again, he's going to get the extra abilities here. Like Befoul the Land is going to be extra and Disgusting Appearance. I think this is, once again, well worth the 10 to have that Befoul the Land ability and Disgusting Appearance as another great defensive ability on him. He has 14 wounds, so for 10 renown, you actually are getting 6 extra wounds on him. So that is a substantial difference, for most things that's probably a round of attacks, needing a crit in there to probably get that damage on him. So for me, I think 10 renown, once again, he is well worth that little bit extra you are paying for him. Itch is next. This is the one carrying the sort of plague sensor, and you've got a little bit of a ranged attack on the model. You have some attacks in melee. You got 12 wounds, no extra rune marks or anything like that. For me, this one sort of compares, I guess, to someone of your plague monks there, maybe carrying the sort of Book of Woe, which is really what he's going to be compared to more than anything, which is pretty cool. For me, he does have, a fairly similar stat line. He is actually 20 points cheaper. He does drop the rune mark, so he won't have the ability of the Book of Woe. So he's interesting. He has less damage in melee, as he's going to have 1/3 with 3 attacks. He has got the range attack, though, which is interesting, and I think sort of makes up for the fact he doesn't have that sort of Book of Woes ability, which really is going to be the big thing, and it's a quad anyway. For me, interesting. I mean, he's just another sort of plague monk to take. 110 renown. Befoul the Land's really cool. I think it's a decent ability. Is he probably one of the ones I think is auto-take? I don't think. I think the first 2 are definitely better than him. He's one of the ones I'd be looking to drop if I'm running out of points. Poxlix is next. Now, this is effectively just a Plague Monk with 2 daggers. So, you're looking at the Plague Monk with Paraphoted Blades. You have an exact similar sort of attack profile on him. Now, you have swapped out the Agile rune mark there for taking the rune mark of the Warband. So, pretty similar. Once again, he is 10 renown more, but you're getting 4 extra wounds on him. I think he's worth that at, the extra 10. He does lose that Agile rune mark, so he doesn't have that. But once again, I think it's decent enough. 4 extra wounds for 10 renown is pretty solid in my mind. Ricket, on the other hand, is going to be the one with Photo Blade and Woe Stave. Similar sort of thing. Now, you're paying regularly 80 for one, or Ricket is 90, so he's 10 renown more. Again, though, 4 extra wounds are there. And he does have a exact similar combat profile as it, so I think, once again, he's pretty good. The only one, I've been really disappointed with is probably the first of sort of the minion ones. Obviously, Rabbit Skench, I think, is really good, as is Skabbik himself. I think Ricket and Skabbik you're probably taking as well. The decent fighters, no extra abilities, but solid for an extra 10 renown, getting 4 wounds on each of them. Yeah, just good. And so, lastly, we have Skritter. Now, Skritter is interesting. I guess you could maybe compare him to a giant rat. It's probably, I guess, miniature-wise, what he's most like. Now, he does have less strength than a regular giant rat. He's only strength 2, where a giant rat is strength 3. He's got the same sort of profile, 8 move, 2 wounds. 4 wounds and defense 2. And he has the same cost, but he does, of course, have the rune mark there for Befoul the Land. For the same cost as a giant rat, yeah, fair. I think for the extra rune mark abilities, nice. But once again, he'd probably be one of the ones I'm dropping. I think you can spend those 70 points better in the Warband, but he isn't the worst one. I think he's probably one of the 2 I'm dropping. So, with that is everything in the Skabbik's Plaguepack for Warcry. What are your thoughts on the Warband? I really like Rabbit Skench and Skabbik himself. I think they're decent. They would probably be the 2 I'd look to add first. Then the 2 sort of generic Plague Monks for 10 extra renown. Why would you not just try and, if you've got the spare points, upgrade them? And then Skritter and the sort of Book of Woe replacement that doesn't actually have a Book of Woe would probably be the ones I choose to drop if I were to drop any from Skabbik and take something a little bit better from a Skaven Warband. With that said, though, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your ideas on them and how you're going to include them in your band, if indeed you are. Let us know down in the comments below. And that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. You can use one of our affiliate links to Gap Games or Element Games if you're in Australia or the United Kingdom, or you can subscribe to our YouTube members or Patreon, or grab some merch from our merch stores on Teespring or Ko-fi. All the best ways to help support the channel. As a special thanks to all our Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patrons: Broken Chef, Andy C, Grimskull, Colorblind Magic, Benjamin Swallows, James Cater, Mark Harvey, Domir, Average Wargamer, JJ Austrian, Cure Dynamic, Andrew Bowen, Outer and Shot First, Kenny Lowell and Soren, and to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, the Johnny84, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, James Tillman, Disco, John Castle, and Gargamel196. Thank you all once again for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.